while it's a class, for me it's also a little bit of an interactive discussion. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I want it to be a little bit less formal than you would have in an ordinary class, because I don't have a lot of time. So if you have questions, ask me. If you have points that you want to make, feel free to make them.
Awesome.
Okay. Also, I think the bulk of us are KWF. I know maybe Daryl Sensei is not, but there are slight variances between KWF karate and the general Shotokan karate. Obviously, most of it stems from the JKA, but there are certainly differences. And the training that we do needs to be adapted to the unique philosophy of KWF, which I don't think you will find particularly foreign once I'm not sure how familiar you are or aren't with it, but once it's explained, I'm sure it will make sense. Also, I don't understand my accent. You managing? Okay. Yes. Right. What is the primary objective of KWF karate? Yes. Which translated means?
To kill one blow.
To deliver a clean blow, to kill with one blow. Also called ichigeki. So, for me, if that's the primary objective, I'm not suggesting you go and kill someone with one blow. But you must be able to do it. So that stems from training your kihon. So, often, especially as we get sort of to the Q grades, you start going, yeah, but I've done this basic stuff, and I did it when I was a white belt, I don't need it anymore. And that there could be nothing further from the truth. Your basics are fundamental to everything you do. As Yahara Sensei says, kihon is kihon, kata is kihon, fumite is kihon. So if you don't get your basics right, it filters into all of your karate. So I'm going to work on 3 fundamental power sources to enhance the output of your technique. So when you actually hit someone, the person doesn't look at you. Of course, he goes down. So let's start. What would you say the 3 main ways to make power are? Hip action. Absolutely. And probably in KWF karate, hips are used more than in any of the other ones. Yahara Sensei is huge on hip action. Those of you who trained with Welcome Sensei previously, I don't know what he taught you, but I'd be very surprised if you didn't talk about hip action. Okay, so there's hip action. Second thing? Driving. So let's turn that slightly different. Momentum. Momentum is made of what? Mass and velocity. Can't change your mass unless you're going to have a meal before you hit the guy, but we can certainly work on the speed component of it. And the third element?
Vibration.
Got a great audience though. The ability to contract at the end of the bow. And I personally find that to be the most difficult one. Because what you find is the timing in that is often off. So what happens is if you tense too early, you get this pushy technique. If you don't tense at all, of course, there's no kime at the end of the movement. So let's start with hip action.
Awesome.
I think the first thing, what often happens is people think of punches as being trauma, blocks as being hungry. But you're only doing half movement. So I'll get a hamni here instead of hamni being there. And I'll get shoman here instead of truly what we should be doing is shoman on the shoulders, gyaku hamni on the hip. So what I want you to work on from here, left leg going forward, get down right. Come on, hand down. So we start with something simple, like gyaku zip. What I want you to do from here is work on extreme hamni. And from there, I'm not going to talk too much, I want to see how you do it first. Blast the hip, gyaku zip. Let's try. Finish. And back. Knee. And back. Side. And back. Sheet. And back. Go. Hang on, let's stop at this point. I need help. Stephen. Let's go. Yeah, we're going for it. Get up right. Come on. Hey. Down below. And up. Punch. One. And back. 2. Okay. Where's his power going? Which direction? Sideways? Any other takers? Where's your power going? Watch again. Back. Down. Nowhere is really the answer. And you're not alone in this. Thank you. Go back. What Stephen is doing is very common. Over my head. He's actually putting this hip back and staying over here. So if you watch, Stephen, go back. You trust me? Okay, watch. It's not there. You see what I'm doing? I'm blasting forward. So if you think of my hip as a hinge on the door, don't pull this one backwards, take this and launch it forward. So the idea from here, in order to assist me, I'm utilizing back heel. You see the compression on it? By the way, it's very important technical point. Compression, then thrust on the back heel, so that as your hip's coming through, you see where I'm getting it. So that I'm actually going forward and in. Let's try that. Go ahead. And up. So focus on the heel. Very important that your heel's facing inwards, otherwise you're going to get that sideways power. And drive on it. And back. And back. Which is better? Drive on the heel. Sun. And back. Sheep. And back. And go. And stand up. Okay, so let's discuss the next one. I'll try not to bore you with too much physics. But you want as much force as possible going in the direction that you hit it. Okay, so let me show you something. You don't break mine. So, foot, knee, hip. Can you hip out? More. If you release your leg. If she releases her leg here, now drive. Nothing there. Now watch. Turn your foot in. Turn your foot in. Turn your knee in. Grab the shoulder. Now watch. Pull your hip out. More. Release. Yeah. See the difference? Okay, so let me show you what we're doing. The other way my knee's pointing. What I want you to try and do is create torsion on your back leg. Can you see how I'm holding my knee forward? Turning on the hip. Can you see how I'm winding myself up? It must feel uncomfortable. But at this point, it's wound up so much that if I release it, you see how it just blasts through on the other side. Let's try it. You don't like my whoops. Nice. With the hand up. You've released it already. Turn in. Keep that foot forward. Keep the knee forward. Now, release. Turn the hip, but hold the thigh. More. Release. Yes. And back. You feel the difference? Much better. Turn that foot in. And back. And again. Fine. More. And back. More. Now, shoot. Much better. And back. And go. And stand up on that. So, as you can see, this is why I think anybody who thinks they've done enough basics doesn't know what they're doing. There's always things to be done. So, let's just revise quickly. We've spoken about the hip action per se. We've discussed utilizing the back heel to project you forward, and we've worked on the back leg as well. Now there's the actual speed of the hip action. Because a lot of you are thinking, it's an unfortunate Western mindset. I don't know if it's, I'm going to assume American culture and South African culture are not too dissimilar with this. But if you say to a little guy, show me how strong you are, what's the first thing he does? Exactly. Okay, I'm glad to see what you're saying. But they'll do this. How big are your biceps? Power doesn't come from here. Power comes from here, your core. So we'll work on vibration a little bit later, but what I want you to do now is focus on using your entire body by actually